This is Bev with Wakemate.ca. Just happen to be a very good fan of the Wakemate. Happened to grab Wakemate.ca when it was available. So what we're going to do is we're going to log into Wakemate.com to check out the analytics today and do a quick overview. Once logged in, you'll come to the overview page, which will show you all your nightly sleep scores for the last 7, 14, or 30 days, depending on which you have selected. Also on the right-hand side, you'll see a brief list of the last few Wakemates. You also see your global versus recent versus lifetime averages, such as time to fall asleep, time asleep, awakenings, and sleep score. You'll see here that I consistently fall asleep much faster than the global average, and I typically wake up less than the rest of the world. I also sleep a lot less. I find I don't need as much sleep, mostly due to the Wakemate. I actually wake up quite rested, and that's part of why I love this unit. And you can also, at this point, click through and see when and why you wake up. At this point, you can evaluate the amount of time you get to sleep each night, as well as it provides with you the breakdown of deep, average, light, and awake for each night. I've fallen asleep and woken up unrestful with this Wakemate. And you'll see that my average time sleep per night changes. Some nights I get about on average about 5.5 hours that we'll see. So once in here, you can go through these things, these tabs, and find out information that you're looking for. The real power of Wakemate comes with not just the latest information. It shows you the night before in a nice graphical form. It also shows you where I come first each morning I wake up is to see where I woke up during the evening. The last few times, I typically center a lot of my cycles really, really short early on in the sleep and then slow down. So I cycle quickly, and then the frequency of my sleep cycles slows down as I get closer to the AM. And the other thing I really enjoy is the movement data. It shows you when you when your body moves. The actinography element of the Wakemate kicks in here. Now, I haven't seen if my wife affects my movement data. I'm going to look at that soon. But so far, this is very good in finding out when and where I typically move in the evening sleep. I find right after I go to sleep, in the first hour or so, hour and a half, is when I do a lot of the moving, and then just before I wake up. I find this one here, the latest wake up, is always a washroom. I must have a small bladder because I usually wake up about an hour before I need to get up and go to the washroom. Now, part of the power of the Wakemate is Wakalytics that it provides with you. And we're going to go through some of them today. We can't go through all of them. This is more of an overview, but we'll show you what the power of the Wakemate is. You get about 10 or more different viewpoints of the data that is collected for each evening or as you do it. Now, it says up here that you need about 50, I can't remember. You need a few Wakemate sleep sessions to get accurate data. I find it interesting. I've never had 7 hours and 20 minutes of sleep. I find that interesting. But you also get not only the sleep score based on total sleep length. Obviously, the more sleep I get, when it creeps into the 7 to 8 hours, it assumes that I have a higher score. But I also find that even the difference between 8 hours and 6 hours, 6.5 hours, is not that much different. If I get less than 6.5 hours, which is now my goal, I start to drastically drop off the apparent quality of sleep. Now, that's not with saying that I haven't had good sleeps in here. It's just that I'm more likely to have a bad sleep in this region than if I was to get more time to sleep. I typically, and I purposely do this, try to get about 5 to 6 hours sleep. I find if I sleep any longer, I get really groggy and I miss out on most of the day. If I sleep any less, I don't get enough sleep. So 5 to 6 hours sleep is where I go. I typically go to bed about midnight, which you can see here, 1 o'clock in the morning, and then I wake up tightly around 6 a.m. I try to do this because I'm a morning person and an evening person. I try to get up and get things going quickly as possible. And a few more data points in here. Sleep score based on the day of the week. I don't have any difference because I typically go hardcore all the time, and find that regardless of the night, I try to get the same amount of sleep. It's a consistency. I find this is a very interesting thing here. The use this shows you how often you use it. Wednesday being the most. And that's probably because what happens is on Sunday or so, I always forget to plug the damn thing in. So by the time Monday or Tuesday rolls around, I have no power. So I end up powering it over these evenings. And then it lasts Wednesday, Thursday, Friday pretty consistently. And then that's when I start to forget to plug it in. And there's a few things based on the phases of times of your total sleep. Like it tries to match how often you're in light sleep versus deep sleep. I find it interesting that they change the colors on you. Because if you look on the previous page on the overview, deep sleep is in the purple, or in the green. But when you go to the analysis page, down here, the green is light sleep, and then purple is deep sleep. I think they should rearrange that just because it's a little confusing at times, especially when you. So that's the analysis. The compare chart compares you with the tags that you may have set up. Here I don't have many yet. I have yet to go through and tag them all. Typically the 3 to 4 hours before I go to sleep, I try to tag them, as that's what will determine what type of sleep I have. Anything before that, I don't find it affects me, as well as the 2 hours or so after I wake up, or before I wake up. So if the dogs are barking or stuff like that, that's when I typically will add a tag. I find the rest of the day doesn't really matter in terms of quality sleep, just my mindset as I'm going to sleep. The leaders, this is where you can find out about who the leaderboard is. I'm way down below than the rest of it, and then you can the settings is where you change your password and such, and go through there. So that's a brief overview of the Wakemate data. Very thorough, very full, and very awesome, and I have nothing but good things to say about the Wakemate unit. So again, that's Bev with Wakemate.ca. Come check out my blog. I'll do some more stuff. Also check out Wakemate.com. That's where you find the unit and buy it, and it's a fantastic thing. So thank you. Have a good day. Goodbye.